going? Today or tonight, we are doing the Badass book study, and this is part two. So, thank you so much for getting on and joining us live if you're live. And if you're watching this on a recording, then thank you very much for watching then too. And I really hope that you can get some good stuff out of this. Feel free to comment, even if it's afterwards. I can still get back to you on any questions that you have or comments, or we can add it in on the next one. So that's always an option as well. All right. So part two is how to embrace your inner badass. This part is all about the self-care. So we learned about the original reason, like all of this thought that's been poured into us, into our subconscious, is what we talked about on the first one. So if you missed that one, go back. All right, so I kind of summarized my big thing on this. So let go of the guilt, the resentment, the criticism, and embrace compassion, joy, and gratitude. Develop a connection and love with our higher selves and our ability to forgive our lower selves. We think we don't have time for self-care and a relationship with ourselves and development, yet we invest so much time in doubt and believing that we're not good enough. We arrive here as perfect bundles of joy, and then we set out on this path of learning to unlove ourselves. We lose ourselves, and then we set on self-discovery and trying to connect with who we truly are. We should live a rich, full, authentic life. You deserve to search for yourself. But know that yourself is not somewhere else to be found. You are not truly lost. You are just buried deep under everyone else's crap that they've dumped on top of you. Your self-discovery is self-care. It's building a relationship with you, learning to appreciate you, to tell yourself all the things that you want to hear, to do all the things that you love, to treat yourself like that healthy relationship that you've never had. And that in fact, you will always struggle with finding a healthy relationship until you've learned how to do that for yourself. To know what a healthy relationship truly consists of. Ultimately, people will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. And so let's hit back on some of those key points. So we spend a lot of time on investing into our own self-doubt and believing we're not good enough. Instead, we could be spending that time on self-care. And what I'm meaning by that, and what she talks a lot about in the book with this, is that, have you ever doubted yourself so much that you wish you would have done something, and instead it took like a year before you actually did it, and you kept beating around the bush? So she used this example in the last section, and I think this one also applies to here as well. You kept going out on the porch, and you kept noticing the smell. And instead of just going and getting underneath the porch, or hiring someone to go underneath the porch and get the dead creature out, which ultimately, let's just throw numbers out. Let's say it would have cost $200. Instead, we bought incense. We bought fans. We even had someone install the fans for $50. And we did a bunch of other stuff trying to mask the smell. In the long run, maybe we ended up spending $1,000, $2,000 over the course of 2 years. And in the meantime, we wasted 2 years before we finally got, I guess I better just pay someone to get underneath the porch, and then we still paid the $200. We do stuff like that to ourselves all the time. Procrastination, right? For some reason, we keep resisting our happiness. Something keeps making us feel guilty for taking care of ourselves. And then when we finally do it, We're like, man, I wish I would have done that a long time ago. Time is precious. You only have so much time in your lifetime. So instead of spending all that time doubting yourself, just go for what you know needs to be done, and you know it in your heart. And so she goes on to even talk about that a little bit. So let's just go through on the format that she goes. So 1, appreciate how special you are. 2, drown yourself in affirmations. So I was like, tell yourself all the things that you want to hear. Give yourself an affirmation a day. So if you were dating someone, wouldn't you want them to compliment you every day? Wouldn't you want them to tell you how wonderful you are? And sometimes that's really hard to do because we're telling it to ourselves. So we can help ourselves believe the things we want to believe. So maybe it's just having a dry erase board on your door so that when you go out, you can write something on there for yourself to see the next day. Taking time to plan. Planning goes a long way. So maybe it's you are enough. Or maybe it's today you are going to rock this interview. Whatever it is, or I appreciate how you take care of yourself. Make it something worthwhile. Okay? Do the things you love. How many times do we do everything else, but we don't do the things we love? Comfort is okay. Comfort's a good thing. So surround yourself, buy yourself the candle of the smell that makes you feel comfortable. If you're always going to coffee shops and you have the availability, maybe design your house or your apartment or bring things into your environment that reminds you of that. And one of those things might just be getting rid of the clutter, right? That could be something that's helping you, helping your mind. And that's on a whole nother spectrum. All right. Find a replacement. So if you've got a lot of bad habits, find a replacement for those habits. Don't just beat yourself up that you do them. Figure out what you could do instead. All right. Ditch the self-depreciating humor. Okay. I do this, or used to do this, a whole lot. So I would make fun of myself in order to lighten up scenarios, and then it became into something where you were just making fun of yourself all the time, where you were constantly like bad mouthing yourself. Now, how would you feel if someone was doing that to you? So not you doing it to yourself, but if someone else was doing that for you, that would not make you feel good. Well, the same thing's still happening to your subconscious. So don't do it to yourself either. And of course, that's going to take time. It's a habit that you would have to break. So every time you would do that, you would have some of those self-appreciation affirmations ready and on hand. So every time you would say something mean, maybe you say the opposite. Or catch yourself and say it out loud. It's totally fine. Because when you do that and you do that in public, you're telling people, that wasn't what I should be saying to myself. And that's letting them know you shouldn't say stuff like that to me. And that's also letting them know that they shouldn't be saying stuff like that to themselves either. Because when you do these things, you're also giving other people permission to do them, whether it be something negative or it be something positive. All right, let the love in. So allow people to give you compliments and allow yourself to say thank you. I used to counter compliments with insults for myself. And I know a lot of people that do that too. So try to, when someone gives you a compliment, just simply say, thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, don't compare yourself to others. We'll just leave that one there, okay? Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Seriously. We all make mistakes. And instead of hanging on to it and living in the past, reminiscing or reliving that story over and over with all the possible scenarios that you could have done differently, just forgive yourself. You're not going to get to redo it. All right, I know you are, but what am I? This is, again, not getting offended when people say things about you. Because if you honestly know how fantastic you are, then those things are really a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you. So So there's a really great quote by Dolly Parton, and it says, "I'm not offended at all by dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. I also know that I'm not blonde." So that was really cute. Be brilliant. Be awesome. Be amazing because you are. The only person that's getting in the way of that is you yourself. So allow yourself to believe it. Allow yourself to love yourself. Um, I'll skip over some of these other things. What other people think about you has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And I cannot say that enough. They are responding. They are responding to what's going on in their own inner world. They've got something going on. It's not about you. How many times have you had a cranky day and you've snapped at someone and you didn't mean to? They didn't really do anything that bad. It's just everything was getting under your skin. Everyone's coming from a place of their own story. So don't let their story start coming into yours. You don't have to let that happen. Just be like, oh man, are you having a bad day? Or, I'm just going to really pray for that person and hope that their day gets better. Don't take it personally. All that matters is what's true for you. And if you can stay connected to that without straying, you will be a mighty superhero. And that's where I tell my clients, if you can, set up the habit to meditate at least once a day. Once you get in the habit of that, meditate every morning, every evening. Every morning, you're going to set yourself up for who you truly are, what your goals are for the day. Give yourself your affirmation, whatever it might be. And then that evening, that night before bed, say your gratitudes for the day. 3 things you were grateful for, 3 things that happened really well, or just 3 things you appreciated. And then that's where you could also take a little time and set up your affirmations for the next day. It does not take a lot of time. It takes maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. It's not going to take time. You're probably scrolling on Pinterest, scrolling on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you use for far more than that. I think, oh my gosh, what was it? I saw a statistic. It was like 72% of millennials spend at least 26 hours per week on social media. Think about all the little check-ins you do, all the little wormholes you get sucked into. You're spending so much time on distractions and so little time on your own self-care. It's just making a little shift, and when you do that, you will find that you have so much more time too. All right. Ask yourself why you do things. Always do your best, because if you do your best, there's no reason to rehash on yourself whatever you possibly could have done wrong, because you're just like, I just did my best and that was all I could do. Trust your intuition. Oh my gosh, because those thoughts, again, we already talked about subconscious. Those thoughts, you can't trust them. You can't trust the brain. Trust your heart. Always feel that gut instinct. Feel the heart instinct. This is only third. Okay? Find a temporary role model, and I say temporary because you are going to change, and your role model will probably change too. So find someone and follow what they do. So maybe it's an author, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a YouTube channel, maybe it's someone on Facebook, maybe it's a fitness person, maybe it's someone in your industry. Whatever it be, follow someone, have a role model, but also know that they don't have to permanently be your role model, that you will grow and evolve and you can choose other ones. And then again, love yourself. All right. The big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to your adventure. So it's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? What are you doing? What's your goals? When we share what we were brought here to give, we are in alignment with our highest, most powerful selves. When we get to know ourselves, when we know our story, it helps us discover our purpose. And when we find purpose, we get an unshakable happiness. So happiness that doesn't float. And again, this is where I said in the beginning, yourself is not out there somewhere to be found. Yourself is right here. It's right here with you. So allow yourself to find out your purpose. And a lot of times that's by writing your story. It can be a summarized version. It could be changing it up. Like, what have you learned in life? What brings you happiness? What do you love about yourself? Allow yourself to just explore that. And again, build that relationship with yourself. That's the true self-discovery. Instead of wasting hours and days and years trying to figure out your perfect next move, just do something. How many times do we wait for the perfect opportunity for things to happen? Perfect opportunity most likely will not happen, at least not in the same way that our brain thinks it might happen. Opportunities present themselves, and instead of saying it's not the right time, the opportunity is there. It's there. It's presenting itself. Do it. It's better than sitting around and letting life just pass you by. All right. So most answers reveal themselves through doing, not just thinking about it. I see this teaching weight training classes. You get people that want to just watch and they want to just learn. But they're not going to lose weight. They're not going to gain strength just by watching. They have to do it. They have to actually pick up the weights and they have to do it. You could be an expert in the field of nutrition, of diet, of weight loss, of weight training. You can know everything, but unless you do it, it makes no difference. And then you're just gonna, have that life. Also, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? I have that problem a lot. I always try to reinvent the wheel, and I'm like, no, there's stuff that's already there that I can do. All right, don't get caught up in the Thunderbolt hype. So like you're distracted. You're like, oh, this fad, oh, that fad, and this can be all kinds of different things. All right, allow yourself to daydream. Allow yourself to daydream, and allow yourself to create a world that you can escape to in your mind. Those are going to help you again build your relationship with yourself. Daydreaming is not a bad thing. In fact, that's another version of meditation. Kind of creating a safe place. All right. No matter who you really are, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, no matter where you're at right now, love yourself and know that as long as you do your best every day, allow yourself to grow 1% more every day, you're beautiful. Just the way you are, but 1% better every day allows you growth, allows you to become the person that you want to be, and allows yourself to, again, build that relationship with yourself. All right. The next part is how to tap into the mother lode, how to meditate. This is one of my specialties, and I really look forward to doing part 3 with you. Please give this video a thumbs up. You can always fast forward and all that other things. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, FigLeaf.Fit. Check me out on Facebook. Check out my blog. It's on my webpage, FigLeaf Yoga and Fitness, or FigLeaf.Fitness.com. And yeah, so hopefully you'll check me out